Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Sacred Geography, and Shinrin Yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Thursday, January 5th, 9 p.m. Mountain Time 2023. An X1.2 solar flare just kicked off the sun from active region 3182. This is the region shooting off massive flares in the previous days, but now it's turning to face Earth. Full analysis in just a moment. The big story: Minnesota weather, huge January snowstorm among the largest on record for the Twin Cities. Keep calm, it's boom time. Shut up, Al, get in your hole. It's true, another large storm rolls across Minnesota and Wisconsin and tacking up the 17th largest snow total ever recorded in the Twin Cities. That is big news. Lake Evan and Egan leading the way with 17.7 inches of snow. Ho, ho, ho. Only a few more years with more snow than that, including 1991 with 19.6 inches, 1982 with 20 inches, and 1991 with 20.6 inches. As you can see, all of these big snow years are in the last 3 decades. Global warming much? California storm updates. The National Guard troops have been deployed in Santa Cruz. This is due to flooding and other concerns. You want to see how much California snowpack has grown in the last 12 days? Take a looky here. It is up, up, and away into historic. Here is the percent of normal snowpack. 100% is down here, and we have been 140, 160, 180, and we are pushing new record levels. Some of the biggest snow totals in decades in the West, as evacuation orders are issued for Capitola with high surf, flooding homes, and destroying wharfs. This is due to like the 4th atmospheric river, and more are coming. California ocean piers collapse. Waves rise to 35 feet, and that is not looking good. California beach town residents woke up Thursday morning to collapsed ocean piers, massive 35-foot waves, tide surge, and widespread flooding. That is amazing. Here is breaking. Capitola Wharf split in half, and there you can see no one is getting out there. So lots of beach erosion happening currently with the 4th atmospheric river as flood, snow, and wind hazards continue in California. The atmospheric river event in California continues today with flash flood risks from northern to southern California, heavy snow for the Sierras and northern and southern California mountains, and high wind warnings and wind advisories remain in effect for much of the state. Another system with a stream of moisture will arrive late tomorrow into the weekend for the Golden State, and that is their fate. Let's take a look at the GFS model for total snow, and it's looking quite epic. Take a look. This is through the 3rd week of January. And just here by mid-January, by the 15th, which is 10 days from now, there could be another 6 to 8 feet of snow across the California mountains. So let's just walk it through the next few days. Here is your Friday to Saturday morning. You could be picking up another 16 to 18 inches through much of the Sierras into Tahoe. Heaviest snow is going to be in Utah and the Sierras. And then through the weekend, here is Saturday through Sunday. So more snow, bringing the totals up to 4 feet in the Sierras over the weekend, and some more heavy snow in the Cascades. Washington State picking up the heaviest totals. Colorado and the southern mountains, just a moderate uptick there. And this system will continue through Wednesday. Another atmospheric river brings more snow to the west, and another system maybe through the Midwest here, through Iowa on the 13th, but this is far out. So those models we shouldn't really rely on. But here, through the end of the weekend, that is your snow totals. A little bit of snow moving into the northeast. A little bit of snow here, maybe in Missouri, in northern Missouri. So that is a new thing for those guys. And that will be coming in Saturday and Sunday through Missouri. But the West is the big winner chicken dinner on this model. Now let's take a look at Europe. The big winner in Europe is going to be Scandinavia with the snow piling up to 10, 15 feet maybe in Norway. But that is normal, but only this snow is going to wrap around the entire southern tip of Norway, is going to be literally buried. You can see heavy snow in northern UK, and snow returning to the Alps in the form of at least 100 millimeters by, let's say, midweek next week. So Skiing will return to much of the Alps by mid next week as a normal snow pattern, with snow even coming in at the end of January here in North Africa. Hello, shut up, Al. Seismic update. No quakes of note. It's looking quiet on the Western Front. The biggest rumbler happened this morning here, 5.3, in Esperanza, Mexico. So no quakes of note. Couple rumblers in Hawaii, 3.3, 5 kilometers near the volcano. Worldwide volcano news update. Popo, Shivalush, Reventador, Sabancaya. Nothing spectacular. Shivalush puffing to 14,000, Popo to 21. Reventador to 14, Sabancaya, intermittent puffs and passes. And it looks like Stromboli, the lava supply, has been reduced once again. So good news. Bad news, X1.2 solar flare at AR 3182. We don't have the video because it just happened, but we do have the visuals on the still frame. An X1.2 solar flare was just observed around AR 3182 towards the southeast limb. It was quite impulsive. Let's take a look at the latest data here, see if there's anything else kicking off. It just ended moments ago. So the event just ended a few minutes ago. So the duration was about 2 hours, but the peak was impulsive. So it didn't spread out longer and round out. Probably limited. Even if there is a coronal mass ejection from this, it's heading directly away from Earth. But there was a radio blackout, and this was quite impressive, to say the least. Now the bad news is this baby is going to be facing us over the next few days. And let's take a look. No, that isn't the latest. Let's take a look at the latest HMI intensity so we can get a grip on this little baby. There she blows, and quite a big area complex here with a widespread plage and dozens of sunspots. As you can see, this is the X-flare region, obviously magnetically complex, turning its way in. And let's see if we can get the latest sunspot updates here. Event report flares. I can't find the clickety-click. My goodness. No idea where that is. Maybe next time. So we'll keep a close eye on this as we head over to SDO to take a look at maybe some of the pictures, boom, of the remnant X-flare. You can see it there crowning out. This is at the end of the event from that region, and you can see it's pointing away from Earth. So good news that X-flare is not going to be affecting us in any big way, but in 3 or 4 days it's going to be facing us and may shoot one of these boomers our way. Now, egg shelves are empty at some Colorado grocery stores. And thank goodness Diamond and Leah have an egg farm. We have not run out of eggs, but there is no way to purchase eggs at all. And now when they do come into Kroger or any of the stores, they're $8 a dozen or more. So, Colorado's egg industry contending with nationwide outbreaks of avian influenza, quote unquote, consumer demand, and a new state law which says that all birds need to be cage-free, which really doesn't mean anything because they live in a cage. Now, a green comet will pass by Earth for the first time in 50,000 years. Stargazers have the chance to possibly see an astronomically rare event next week. Comet C 2022 E3 ZTF will pass by the Earth next month. The comet, first discovered in March of 2022 by researchers in California, has a green glow and a full orbit of around 50,000 years. Now, 1 week from today, on January 12th, this comet will make its closest approach, just 1.11 astronomical units from Earth. Puffed up with solar heat, this is literally an electric comet with an ion tail and a dust tail and a coma, and totally electrified and heading towards the sun. It will head towards Earth for an even closer encounter of 0.28 astronomical units on February 1st. And here's what it looks like right now, photographed by Michael Jaeger of Jarling, Austria. Now, the comet has a bright green atmosphere, a fan-shaped tail of dust, and a gaseous blue streamer sculpted by solar wind. This is the ion tail. Nothing, it's electrical in nature. And 50,000 years ago, when this comet passed by Earth, the Meteor crater in Arizona was formed, maybe by a piece of the debris that this comet is pulling with it. Over 50,000 years ago, space and Earth came together when a huge iron-nickel meteorite, 150 feet wide and weighing several 100,000 tons, impacted an area outside of Flagstaff, and it formed a massive crater. When the dust settled, what remained was a crater 3/4 of a mile wide and 750 feet deep. Was this the culprit? Well, we shall wait and see, shan't we? Now, the U.S. approves an experimental bee vaccine. What could go wrong? Sudden bee deaths? The generational immunity treatment aims to counter the deadly American foul brood disease. Now, the only problem with this is that we are introducing foreign material into the realm of the bees, the honeybees. And if we do something wrong and make it worse, well, the consequences will be devastating. Stone Age humans stepped out into cave bear fur 300,000 years ago. Can you believe this? Here is a detail of the precise fine cut marks on the cave bear's foot bone. And what does that mean? Well, archaeologists in Germany have uncovered some of the earliest evidence of the use of clothing, with newly discovered cut marks on a cave bear paw suggesting that prehistoric animals were skinned for their fur 300,000 years ago. And for good measure, we were in the middle of an ice age, and we still are. Amateur archaeologist uncovers ice age writing system. No, they didn't. In fact, their conclusion is so asinine, I want to go over it with you and tell you my thoughts. Now, mystery of ancient dots and stripes on Europe's caves has been solved. Bear with me. Archaeologists believe a wave of discoveries is set to tumble forth as the code has been cracked by work of pioneering amateurs. Do you see these 4 dots? They are claiming that these 4 dots represent the tracking of the mating and birthing season for animals. And that's based on no evidence whatsoever except dots. And here's some lines on a fish. Now, from my experience as a hunter and a gatherer, when I go fishing, let's say I had this fish emblem on my fishing rod. Every time I caught a fish of this variety, I would put a slash mark down. I would not put a slash mark down if I witnessed it mating. That is completely asinine, especially with people living on the earth 20,000 years ago. Do you think that they were watching the mating season of this animal, or each time that they harvested an animal, they came into the cave and put a dot down? I think my hypothesis holds more weight than theirs because mine is backed by current information that that's what humans do. Who knew? Now you do. Not drinking enough water is linked to serious health risks. And I can tell you that I drink enough water. You should be drinking 8-ounce glasses a day at minimum. And that's tons of water. So if you are used to drinking soft drinks or flavored drinks or any of that, you could save money and increase your health by just switching to water. And I'm not talking tap water. I'm talking good, clean drinking water. Reverse osmosis, distilled water, multiple step purified water, zero water. That's the kind of water you need. Structured water even. Water is the key to life. And even if you have structured water, you can bless the water. Literally, not religiously. You could say, water, you are healing water, and it will pick up your vibrations and it will heal you. I've done it, and that's a boon to knowledge. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Share this with like-minded people. Become a Patreon. Support the work we do. We love you. Be safe. And that's a boom.